Hello, and welcome to a Purpose-Driven Marriage podcast. We are Dwayne Nadine Stewart, and we love any and all things marriage. You've tuned into the right place if you're looking for actionable, practical tips to help you overcome real-life obstacles common to real relationships. We're here to help you strive for a marriage as God has designed it and not as the world has defined it. Because why settle for a good marriage when you can have a great one?
Hello and welcome to another episode of A Purpose-Driven Marriage. I'm your host, Dwayne, and I'm with my lovely wife, Nadine.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us on our podcast.
Yeah, we're excited to talk to you today because are we on vacation? We're on vacation.
We are on vacation.
We're on vacation, and we want to talk about like why getting out as a couple, like by yourselves, getting together outside the house as a couple it just takes everything to another level.
I was just thinking, babe, this is commitment.
Yeah.
This is the second time that we have been in a hotel room or a rented space of some sort recording our podcast and hauling all of our podcasting equipment. And our kids are running around out there somewhere with our dog. And you and I are in here sitting in the kitchen of this beautiful home that we rented off the coast of Washington State in a little town called Seabrook. It is amazing over here.
It's a great place.
And we are in the kitchen recording this podcast for you. But it's so funny because this actually wasn't what we were going to talk about today. But in the middle of the night last night, I was like, oh my gosh, we have to talk about why it's so important, not just for families to get together and get away together. I think that's a given. People already know that. So we're not talking about that today, but why it's important that we as a couple get time away.
Yeah.
Just two of us. And I don't mean like time away in our backyard, although that's helpful. Going for walks, that's helpful. Spending time together each day, that's helpful. But I'm talking like pack up your bags.
Yeah.
And we're either hopping in the car or getting on an airplane, on a cruise ship, whatever, but we are getting away together.
Yeah.
Right? Like why that is so important. And actually, part two, which, is being recorded today as well. But a second part of this is the that we've had because Dwayne and I love to get away together.
Yeah.
But my husband does not like to spend a lot of money.
Nope. Not at all, especially with the family. So if we're talking about the big old 6 kids, 2 adults, and now a dog. I don't know what we're going to do with that dog when we travel. That's a lot of people. And you guys, and all you listening, you understand. If you're traveling with 4 people, it costs a little bit. But if you double that, we're talking about airfare, we're talking about hotels, we're talking about food, we're talking about like a rental car. There's so many things
and we
that
can't
goes along
ever
with
just rent a small car.
Yeah.
We have to get that like the big utility van.
And either you get 2 rooms or you get a room that's a giant suite with 2 bedrooms, and it just keeps on mounting. But it's also fun too. We all look forward to that.
Exactly. So when I bring up the idea of traveling with just the 2 of us, just me and Dwayne, and I like to do that multiple times in a year.
That.
Well, Dwayne is all about that, but he's, babe, you already know my requirement. Like we have to do this in as economical a way as we can. However, my husband loves luxury. He likes to make sure that we're staying in nice places, hopefully resorts of some sort. And so he will not compromise luxury for the economic side of things. However, it's important to him that we do this on a budget because we do have 6 kids.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to talk to you guys about today. So that's why I'm so excited. When I woke up this morning, we couldn't get the kids out of this house fast enough because we really wanted to talk to you about, number one, why you guys need to go on vacation as a couple, why you need to leave, even if it's just for 2 nights.
Yeah. You know what? I was reading something just a little while ago, and it was talking about how everybody's got time off, PTO. You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
But nobody takes PTO. It says 25% of people that have like available vacation days, they take them.
25%?
25%. So if you have 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, they might take a shorter period of time. People don't really take full advantage of the time off that they have.
Oh.
And then the people that actually do take vacations, they're working while they're on vacation.
I guess technically we're doing that, but this is more of a passion. This is a passion project.
Yeah.
This is something that we're trying to give back.
This isn't,
Yeah.
Because I could have brought my computer with me and we could be just sending emails and stuff like that, but that's not what's going on.
And no one's making us do this. We're doing this because we believe in it.
Yeah.
We believe in saving marriages, and we know that there are a lot of different ways that we can enhance the quality of our relationship and, time together, away from the family, away from the kids, away from work, away from the hustle and bustle of life and the responsibilities. Absolutely.
So
that's
what does that,
right
so
up
what
there.
does that do? So if we're working every day, right? You're doing your thing, you got appointments, you got meetings, you got travel meetings and all those different things that go on, both of us, and you got your kid stuff, all these different things that just take up time or in your life, just the activities. What does scheduling a vacation as a couple, what does that do to that?
It eliminates the competing priorities because life, we're not flat Stanleys. We are multi-dimensional people with a lot of different responsibilities. We all wear many hats, and those are all competing priorities.
Yeah.
And all the hats that we wear are important. Serving our children, serving our community, serving our jobs, serving everyone around us, even our home, right? Maintaining our home, making sure it stays clean, the laundry is being kept up with, all that. Those are all competing priorities.
Yeah.
And when we have that, we don't really have 100% of our focus on any one thing. And marriage being such a huge foundation of making sure that everything else is functioning and operating well, right? Like if our marriage isn't doing well, chances are we are struggling even in the parenting department.
Right.
It's affecting our jobs. It's affecting how we show up for everyone else. It's affecting our health. It's affecting everything. So marriage being at that core, right? The center of so many things, marriage and our faith, of course. I always have to put that in there because that's a big part of who we are. But when we take the time to schedule that time to go away together, essentially what we're doing is we're saying all these competing priorities, they are staying home.
Yeah.
They are staying home. They're going to be taken care of. The kids will survive. They've got people that love them, that care for them, that will take care of them during that time. But right now, 100% of our focus and our priority is going to be on our relationship.
It's funny when you say that. I always think back to when you got married. And so let's all think about this. When we got
Just
married.
me. Oh, I was going to say
so
just me.
You, me, and everybody else listening. Who was first? So you think about the kids came after, right? In most cases. Even the career piece of it came after, right? Because most of us got married when we were younger and you had a job, but you weren't really focused on, okay, so what am I aspiring to be? Like all the house, that came after. Even the pets, all these different things all the different distractions came after the beginning, which was when you and me got together. So once you get involved in life, all those other things start to take precedence, right? So I got work stuff to do. So I'm going to continue to work on that and I'm going to take more time out of that. And I'm going to be working at night and I'm going to be punching out some emails and doing all these different things on these projects that takes precedence over the relationship. So now you have less time for that. And over time, you start to realize that, oh my goodness, like the thing that was my priority from the beginning, the thing that started it, initiated this thing is now pushed back. It's like in the background. And we're not even really thinking or putting too much time into that. We're putting more time into our career, our kids, friends, or whatever it is. And what's most important when you start to really look at where your relationship is now and maybe why you guys are arguing a little bit more, why there's a little bit more conflict, why you feel like there's less connection or less oneness is because you haven't made yourself a priority.
Yeah, you're not spending that one-on-one time together. And even if the order in which those things happened is different, because a lot of our listeners they did things differently from how we did. As your sister would say, we got married and we were babies.
Yep.
And to a lot of people, we probably were babies. We were in our early 20s. We had just graduated from college. And so we did things in that order. But even if the order was different, even if people got married later in life, had kids later in life, and their career came first, even whatever the order might be, a lot of people still struggle in their relationship because they put it in the back burner. And I think a lot of it is because they assume or they take for granted the fact that you chose each other and that you guys will just always be there.
Right.
Right? Like this, no distractions, this prioritized commitment to get away with just the two of you without all the other priorities, I think is critical to a relationship.
So do you remember the first time that you and I went on a one-on-one vacation? We're talking about, it was a while ago, and I'm trying to remember exactly the situation, but that was a catalyst of what we do now, most of the time yearly, hopefully like more than once a year.
Yeah.
Do you remember which vacation?
Oh, I remember it like it was yesterday.
I'm trying to, I have one in my mind, but I'm just trying to remember if you and I are on the same page.
Okay,
as far as which
let
one
me
that
tell
is.
you. Let me tell you which one I think it is. Right?
Okay.
It was when we went on that cruise. That was the catalyst for us to suddenly realize, oh my gosh! Not only did we enjoy this, not only did it bring us closer together, because by that time we had 2 kids, but our children survived, and we were on a cruise ship where they couldn't even get a hold of us.
Yeah.
They were with your parents.
Like zero communication. Everybody knows that whoever has been on a cruise before, you look at your phone and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot. We're out in the middle of the ocean and there's no cell phone towers anywhere.
None.
So you're like, my goodness.
Yeah, and our kids had the time of their lives with their grandparents.
Yeah, they went to Disneyland and they did all kinds of stuff.
They got to do all sorts of things. But the most important thing was that we realized how much it nurtured our relationship. And we actually became closer and we began to crave that time together. So was I right? Was that the same thing you were thinking about?
That was probably the right one. I was thinking about something different. I was thinking about when I went to Newport. That was later. That was a little bit later, but not that much later. And I was just thinking to myself, man, this was actually a lot of fun. It wasn't even hot. It was, you had a work meeting and I came right at the end of that work meeting and we just stayed a couple days afterwards, like through the weekend, and we just had fun. And it was just fun to just hang out, eat, and just have one-on-one, like undistracted time with each other.
Let's talk about some of the benefits, right? What we've found and what others have found to be the benefits of getting away as a couple. And when we say getting away, we're not talking about anything lavish all the time. Like we happen to enjoy staying in hotels.
Yeah.
Dwayne and I are not campers. And that's just us. Now we have friends that will choose camping all day long, every day.
Nothing wrong with that.
And they absolutely love it and it works for them. So fantastic. Dwayne and I just don't know how to do it the right way, I think.
Yeah.
We're more glampers. And so like we consider what we're doing right now camping because we're surrounded by trees.
Yes.
But we're staying in a beautiful home. So that doesn't really count. So some of the benefits that we've found is that it strengthens our bond.
Right.
Oh gosh. Like it is the whole two becoming one. That plays out so well anytime you and I get together without the kids, without anyone else, right? It's just the two of us. I feel like we become better friends.
Well, there's no distraction. So let's think about this. Even as we were preparing for this, our kids were downstairs, the dog was running around, the TV was on, like all these different things were going on. And it's like, all right, even when we're upstairs, just hanging out, there's always somebody coming to knock on the door, right? And so we think about the zero distractions and also knowing that there won't be any distractions is actually, that's the refreshing part. Okay, we can just sit down, make some breakfast, hang out, talk to each other, look each other eye to eye, not have any phone in front of us or anything that we know is going to disrupt the discussion and just our time together.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. We get to talk about things when it's just me and Dwayne. We get to talk about things that we don't usually get to talk about, right? We get to dive deeper into topics. We get to ask questions that we wouldn't normally ask because normally we don't have the time to answer it. So we don't want to open up a conversation topic and not be able to finish it. And then before we know it, like we left it and something needed.
I remember, as you said that, I'm like, okay, you're 100% right. Cause I know there's a few conversations that we've had where I'm like, okay, we start talking and then I know that there's something that I have to do after this. And as we start talking, I'm like, I think this is getting into a much deeper conversation than I was expecting at this moment. And now I'm looking at my watch and I'm like, oh man, I got this appointment coming up. So do we spend time doing this because I know it's important, or do I just cut it off and just say, all right, can we do this later? Because then I'm not going to really be like attentive. I'm not going to be paying attention.
And we get to talk about different stuff, right? Different stuff than what we would normally talk about if we're laying there in our bedroom at home. We get to sync up our dreams. Like a lot of our goal setting sessions that you and I have done have been while it's just the two of us on a trip together, right? I remember just a quick weekend getaway that you and I did in Vancouver, British Columbia, where we brought an app with us and we asked each other all these questions that like was, gosh, really, they're connecting questions just to get to know each other on a deeper level, right?
So reconnect, really. For us, it was reconnecting, but you are 100% right. It's like, okay, let's talk about dreams. Have they changed? Tell me if I'm on the right track still, you know what I mean? Because we change over time. I mean, there are certain things that drive us, and then that might be different than what was driving you 10 years ago.
Yeah. And then the shared experience that we get to connect with. I remember when we went to Europe, like that became a big part of our story.
That was our probably most, I wouldn't say elaborate, but kind of.
Well, it was the longest trip we'd ever taken without the kids.
Even though, I'm just going to let y'all know, there were definitely times where I'm in bed and all of a sudden my wife was like, I have to use the bathroom. I'm like, okay, go sleep, go use the bathroom. And then the light's on and I hear, hey. And I'm like, wait, who are you talking to in the bathroom at 2 a.m? It's the kids. She is calling our kids in the morning at 2 while we're supposed to be sleeping in Europe because they just woke up to get to school and she just misses her.
We were gone for 11 days. I had to talk to my babies, but that was
whatever.
But it was in the middle of the night. Like it wasn't taking away from our experience. But anyway, so being able to try new things and even the food that we get to eat, the places that we get to go, the fact that you and I always try to get lost in whatever city we're in and the game is trying to find our way back, right? Like those are shared experiences. Those become a big part of our story.
You know, what's funny is as you talked about that, it got me thinking about all of the decisions, and everybody think about this, that you make right now are decisions that you're considering your family, your whole family for, right? So if you're taking a vacation somewhere and you're like, okay, I got to consider the kids, I got to consider the dogs and make sure that everybody else has something to do and it's fun for them, then, you know, that's what kind of encompasses our decision-making process. But when we're out together, it's really just you and me. You know what I mean? It gives you an opportunity to just be yourself and not have the pressures of pleasing everyone.
I love that it brings us back together as a team, right? Like things that we did so well before we got married, the things that we did so well before we had children, like being a team that fostering that teamwork environment, laying there in bed in the morning and choosing not to get up until we're ready to get up, choosing not to go have breakfast until we feel like putting clothes on. Like those are some of the things that I love so much. There's no pressure. There's no responsibilities. It's just you and me. And honestly, it reduces our stress level.
Definitely.
Like when you transition from just the everyday life and then you and I get away together, the stress level, like it just plummets.
Because you're relaxed. You're just absolutely relaxed. So there's really nothing to really be too concerned about. You're intentionally not focused on work. You're intentionally not focused on the family. You're intentionally focused specifically on your spouse.
On each other.
Right, on each other. And going to sleep at night, waking up in the morning, whatever you do during the day, it's all okay. So what's most important right now? It's me and you. How can we create a memory? How can we create an experience where we can just have time with each other and just hang out with and just enjoy each other's company?
Oh, yeah. And you know, the very best part, I mean, all those things were great. All those things were wonderful. They're all beneficial. They've enhanced our relationship. I think that they have single-handedly just leveled up our relationship, gosh, 1 or 2 levels, because we've gotten that time with just the two of us and made ourselves a priority. But I think that one of the biggest benefits that we have experienced from time away, just the two of us, is we have the most incredible sex during these times away.
How do I know you're going to bring that up, Nadine?
Because it's true. It's true. There's no inhibitions. There's no, we're not worried about, oh my gosh, what if they walk in? What if they hear? What if this? What if that? Like we could have sex anywhere we want.
Yeah. Let me be clear, by the way, that's your concerns. Oh, what if they walk in? I'm like, listen, I don't care.
Hey, my concerns are your concerns.
My kids are like, the youngest is 14 years old. If they think that it's a good idea to open the door at the middle of the night while everything's dark and we're supposed to be sleeping, then you know what? Hey,
they're going to suffer the consequence.
You won't do that more than once in your lifetime.
It's still, I try so hard to turn that side of me off. But being on vacation with just the two of us makes it so I don't even have to think about it.
That's why I get excited, because I'm like, okay, finally, my wife is not worried about this. Let's just relax and have some fun.
Yeah. And it's just, and we get to be young again, right?
We are young. What do you mean young again?
We are. Yes, exactly.
We've never not been young.
Yeah. We get to act out our youthfulness. That's what it is, our youth.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hope that has inspired at least some of you guys to get away together and make it a priority, make it a regular thing. Don't make it a one and done thing, but make it a regular thing. But the next part of this podcast episode that we want to talk to you guys about, because we get this question all the time from people that know us, say, how in the world do you and Dwayne go on family vacations with your huge family and still be able to get away with just the two of you multiple times a year?
Yeah.
So people want to know, they're like, is there some secret here? Yes, we get really creative because, okay, you have to remember, as we stated in the beginning of this episode, we like to travel in style, right? We like to enjoy amenities. We like to travel to luxurious locations and also stay in really nice accommodations. That's just us.
Yeah.
However, because we have 6 kids and they're, for some reason, it feels like they're all going to college right now. And we like to be good stewards of our finances.
Yeah.
We have had to mix up the way that we travel so that we can afford to do all that,
right,
multiple times a year. So here are some tips, some ideas, some things that we've used that have helped us to be able to travel regularly.
Yes. And so one of the things that I want to say is that well, my wife talks about it being luxurious and extravagant and all those different things. And yes, we're not staying in a Motel 6 or nothing like that.
I didn't use the word extravagant.
Okay. Well, that's what I thought about when you said that. You know what I thought of? I was like, okay, because my favorite movie is Coming to America. And so I thought of King Jaffer, whatever, I forgot the actual name, but something like that, rolling up into the Waldorf Astoria with the big old cars with the flags on it. And then he walks out of the car and then there's rose petals getting dropped on the ground. I'm like, man, I felt like that, but I would love to do something like that. That'd be cool. But so it's not that extravagant, but at the same time, we're staying in nice places.
Yes.
And that's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
So that was just where my mind went. Sorry.
So not all extravagant. Like that wasn't the word I used intentionally, because would I like to travel extravagantly? Yes, I would. There are some destinations I still want to go visit. A lot of destinations I want to go visit and things I want to be able to do. But that is on our list of future travels. Yeah. So I book actually 100%.
She takes care of all the travel.
Of all the travels, right? And Dwayne gives me certain criteria that I have to meet to make him comfortable about traveling. And so there are things that we do. So number one, like going midweek, right? If there's any way that you could avoid the Friday, Saturday, Sunday crowd, you are paying less for accommodations because of that. Yeah. So, from what you're saying, only 25% of people are using their paid time off anyways. I would recommend that use it during the week because you're saving money by doing that. And then here is like a really big hack that I have learned. So timeshares. Yeah. Right. So I'm not saying to go out and buy a timeshare. Whether you do or not, that's totally on you. But on this episode, we are not condoning or encouraging or telling you to buy a timeshare. However,
we're not a consultant when it comes
to that. We are not. However, if you've ever been invited to attend a timeshare presentation, they say, it'll only be 60 minutes or 90 minutes long, but it's in exchange for a 4-night getaway or 4 days, 3-night getaway.
For how much?
Yeah, at an all-inclusive place, do it.
Yeah.
So oftentimes they will offer it at no charge, right? So we've done that. Or they will offer it like, okay, you have to put down $199 just to make sure you show up.
$300,
right.
whatever.
Exactly. But then you show up, they provide the accommodations, and then you attend the timeshare presentation, and oftentimes they will give you like a gift card, an American Express gift card, a voucher for dinner, for a show, for whatever activity. And you're getting all that would normally cost thousands of dollars for almost nothing.
Right.
Almost nothing.
Yeah. Going on a vacation like this, where they're giving you the opportunity to stay at a really nice resort, all inclusive for $400, $300. It doesn't sound like it's an even trade, to be honest with you, but it's legit. It's legitimate. You got to pay for the airfare or transportation to get to wherever that place is. But once you're there, it is a wonderful experience.
Yeah. And here's an example. So Dwayne and I just booked with a company that we have never done a timeshare presentation with, but they are offering a 5-night, so 6 days, 5-night stay at the same resort that we stayed at for our honeymoon in Cancun. It is one of the nicest resorts I think they call it Hotel Row. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And we will need to attend a timeshare presentation while we're there. Do we have any intentions of buying timeshare?
No.
Absolutely not. So we've gotten really good at saying no. We've gotten really good at saying, hey, we appreciate this, but we are really here just to be able to come on this vacation. So we had no intentions of buying timeshare.
Yeah.
And they know that, and they respect that.
I think they played a numbers game. That's how that works. Is we have one. We have a timeshare, and we bought that a long time ago. We're able to use it. But in this instance, it just works in our favor. Hey, if they're offering, and we're the couple that wants to go on a vacation together, especially in a place where we want to go to, hey, let's go ahead and take advantage of this. And plus, it's all inclusive, and plus, we get to go to a place where we first took our first vacation, I would say, as a couple, our honeymoon vacation in Cancun. It's going to bring back some crazy memories.
Yeah, for $400, babe.
Yeah, that's
6 days, 5 nights, all the food, all the drinks, and it even has activities included.
Yeah.
So we recommend doing something like that, but get good at saying no, because we're not encouraging that you buy timeshare everywhere that you attend a presentation. And so the next tip that we have is going to drivable destinations.
Yeah.
So I mentioned earlier that we had gone to Vancouver, British Columbia. Now, we live in the Seattle area. So for us to get to downtown Vancouver is like a 3 hour drive. But we got to spend a weekend there. We had so much fun. We reconnected. We walked all over the city. We got to see things we'd never seen before. We ate. And it didn't cost us any more than really just our hotel
and the food and wherever we went to. And the great thing is that, you don't have to worry about a flight or even a train. But I love it because then we don't have to worry too much about actually getting the flight, going to the airport, all those different things. You can actually bring more things in the car with you, which allows you more opportunities. But you start to realize how many things you can actually drive to, how many places you can drive to.
Oh, yeah.
Like out here, we have the islands, the San Juan Islands, we have the peninsula. We have like the coast, and then there's Oregon, and there's Montana, and there's Idaho. And
then there's like the wine valleys where we can go wine tasting if we want.
Even though we don't like drinking wine.
No, you just don't like drinking anything other than juice.
Yeah.
Juice and water.
Yeah.
That's why.
Lemonade.
Yeah, exactly.
Refreshers.
But the other travel hack that we have, and this one, if you allow flexibility, which if you're just traveling with just the two of you and your work will allow it, going during off-peak seasons. We have gone on some of our best trips going when no one else is going.
That was Europe. So we went on our anniversary. That was 20th year anniversary to Europe. And it was in March.
Yep. It was right before the peak season. So it was in between seasons.
And we absolutely lucked out because it was warm at times. It was cooler at times and windy because we went to Italy. And Italy tends to get windy in certain places. I don't even think it really matters the time of year. But the cool thing about that was we paid less, but we didn't have to deal with the crowds. Every time we talked to somebody that went to Italy or somewhere that we loved, they were like, I didn't like it. I'm like, why? Because it was too crowded. I'm like, oh, shoot.
Yeah,
like,
I said it was too crowded and too hot.
Yeah, too hot and too crowded. I'm like, wait, we didn't experience those things.
No, we
I'm
got
like, wow,
into
we lucked out.
every place we wanted to go into. And the problem is when you choose the times of the year that will work best with your schedule because the kids are out of school and, you know, it's warm and whatever, that's the time that works for everyone else too. Exactly. So you're going there with everyone else who's going on vacation.
Yeah.
But if there's flexibility in your schedule and you can go in the off-peak season, you could save so much money. Even if you were traveling here within the United States, if you were to travel like during the weeks or the days between Thanksgiving and Christmas, no one's traveling.
Yeah.
Because everyone has already traveled for Thanksgiving and then there's people waiting to travel for Christmas again. But then that time period, that first week in December, no one's traveling.
Well, not only that, nobody's working either. Everybody's thinking about, okay, so what are we going to do for Christmas? And they're preparing for vacation. So if you're trying to set appointments and you're trying to get business done during that period of time, nobody's doing anything. You know what I mean?
You're saying that they're not missing out.
We're not missing out on anything. So just go on vacation. Just hang. You'll be surprised at how little that you miss from work because nobody cares like during the month of December.
The other time of year that's also much more economical to travel is right after the summer.
Yeah.
So after Labor Day.
September.
Yep.
October.
Around September and early October when the kids are all back in school. There are no major holidays happening. Those are times when the airline rates tend to be lower than the summer months or during the holiday season.
Speaking of airlines, that's another one, right? Because we use our miles quite a bit when it comes to booking travel. And like the two things that I love is that if you have one of those frequent flyer cards, ours is Alaska because we're in the Northwest, so we use that. It's absolutely wonderful because once you collect or accumulate enough points, you can we can get a ticket to wherever we want for nothing. You don't have to pay for it except for the taxes, or sometimes we have companion fare or whatever it is. So not only do we have our destination, our accommodations are taken care of, but then our transportation is also taken care of because we plan that out.
Yeah. Now, there's a caveat to this, right? So we always have to put in our little disclaimers because there's people like Dave Ramsey and other, financial gurus that will say, don't use credit cards for things like that. Now, this is how we do it. So we use our credit cards to accumulate airline miles, but we pay off our credit cards so that we're not paying interest on it. So we use it really just to pay our bills. And then rather than paying the creditors themselves, we pay the credit card.
Right.
The credit card pays our creditors, and then we pay the credit card the full amount.
Right.
So that we're not having to pay interest. And now there's also a lot of other travel gurus that will tell you that there's a number of different credit cards. If you're going to do that, will offer you more miles than others. And so I would say research that and see what is best for you. Because for us, we just happen to use Alaska Airlines simply because that's what we've been using for years. We honestly, full transparency, we haven't even explored any other types of travel cards yet, simply because we haven't had the time. And this one has worked for us.
Yeah.
But the final travel hack that we have for you guys that has worked for us, and we encourage you to explore that option as well, is keep an eye out for travel sites and any sales that they may offer that is crazy good, like above and beyond what they would normally offer. And so for us, we really like Costco travel. So when we talked about our trip to Europe, we did it through Costco travel. And oh gosh, you guys are not going to believe this because to this day, if I saw another one of those
we haven't
deals
seen a deal
again,
like that ever since then.
I would jump on it. But get this. So it was a 10-day trip to Italy. We had a 1-night layover in Paris. So we got to do almost a 24-hour in Paris as well.
That was a bonus, by the way.
That was a bonus.
That doesn't normally happen, but it just turned out that we had literally a 24-hour layover in Paris.
Exactly. And
we used I think we had Marriott points. So we used our Marriott points to get the hotel in Paris.
Yeah, that was like beautiful location as well. And so the package that Costco Travel was offering was for 10 days in Italy. We went to Rome, we went to Florence, and we went to Venice. It included the airfare. So it included our flights to and from Italy. It included all ground transportation to and from the airport. It included breakfast every single day that we were there. It included gift baskets.
Yes.
It included upgraded rooms, right? So now just listen to all these things that this whole package includes,
Costco takes
right?
care of you.
And mind you, we're flying from Seattle. So it's not like we're flying from the East Coast where it's much closer to Italy than where we are. This whole thing, 10 days, cost us just a little over $2,000.
Yeah. But again, so that was also 5 years ago.
It was fine. It was pre-COVID.
But yes, it was pretty dang cheap.
What?
Really inexpensive because I was, to be honest, I was like, I want to go somewhere where it's warm. I want to go to a beach. So find a beach and so that we can go hang out on the beach all day. And she kept on bringing up this European trip. I'm like, where are the beaches at over there? And after she told me how much it cost, I'm like, you know what? Maybe that might be okay. Let's try it. And good thing we did because my goodness, that's so far out of all the times that we've been somewhere, that was my favorite vacation.
Oh yeah. So I think it came out to about $2,400 plus tax.
Yeah.
But 10 days with all those things included. I mean, we only had to.
And we had transportation, by the way.
Yeah, we had
between
transportation.
the cities it was like a first class seat on a train.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
first
so we
class,
did that too.
First class between Rome and Florence and Venice. And then in Venice, we had a boat, like a
wooden boat.
Beautiful boat,
With
like
champagne
all
and
leather.
everything.
Like it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Costco provided all that.
Yeah, to get to the airport. So just to let you guys know, in Venice, there's no cars. So it's basically just canals and waterways. And from our hotel to the airport, you take a boat. It's funny how that works, but if you take a boat and then you dock right at the airport, you take your stuff off and you walk onto to the airport. It's just a crazy thing, but that was our transportation from our hotel at like 6 a.m. or 5 a.m.
Yeah. So for those of you who have been asking me, because like I said, I get asked this all the time, Nadine, how do you and Dwayne travel so much? These are the ways in which we do it, right? Like there is nothing special about us. There's nothing that we're doing that other people can't do. These are all travel hacks that are absolutely available to you guys. Oh, and we also follow travel gurus on Instagram. We watch their videos. We get tips from them. And so if this is something that you want to incorporate into your lives, into your relationship, to be able to travel a whole lot more, follow them. Find some good travel gurus on social media and see what types of tips that they can offer to you. But we really hope that we convinced at least one couple, it'd be great if we convinced all of you guys to start traveling. As long as you have good people that you trust that can take care of the kids.
That's what I was going to say. Find somebody that you trust to take care of the kids. So now you don't have to worry about it when you leave. You're not concerned. You're not being distracted. Instead of being on the beach hanging out with your husband, you're thinking about the kids. Just do it and go, and you will not regret it.
Exactly. So take these tips, take these benefits that we shared with you guys, figure it out. Because we promise you, this will definitely get you to that purpose-driven marriage that you both desire.
Amen.
All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.